Hey guys, I just wanted to do sort of an unboxing and comparison of the new formulation of the Spellbinders card kit, now renamed the Quick and Easy card kit, and the original formulation, well, or the one I was used to, I guess, that was just called their Card Kit of the Month. So, these are both spring-themed card kits. I don't remember when the old one came out. This is the Have a Springy Day, and then I forget what this kit is actually called. It's unfortunately not labeled, which is odd because the old ones were labeled. But anyway, might be labeled on the inside. We'll see. So I guess having seen a few videos with the new kits, I'll just get my sort of assumptions out of the way. And that's essentially that this kit is Spellbinders' attempt to sort of release a Cricket joy in the sense that this is geared towards newer card makers and is at a lower price point. So it is definitely going towards more like an Annie's card kit or like some of the Stampin' Up! Kits, Paper Pumpkin, I think they're called, and which I actually had one of the Stampin' Up! Kids card kits that was sort of in that general range. I mean, I think both of the two things I mentioned are more like $20 card kits, and this is a $30 card kit, but things get kind of congested in the $40-ish card kit, I think like Gina K's recent bundle that was released yesterday was at about $45. Gina K used to do sort of $60 kits, but I think everybody kind of is gravitating around sort of the $40 price point. Not Too Shabby has a kit, Pink and Main has a kit, Love by Lizzie has a kit. I mean, there are a lot of people who are in that space. So I think Spellbinders was basically just trying to do a different thing to get out of that space. So let's look at the older kit first. And you can see I have not opened it. So we can get a comparison. So this kit would have sold a la carte for $60. And if you were a subscriber, you would have bought it for $40. So just as sort of where are we starting with? And we can see what we get. So historically, you would get 10 A2-sized cards in their envelopes. They've always been white and sort of had this sort of almost a linen-like texture on the outside. You would get a paper pad. You can sort of get a sense of this. I'm not going to go through these kits in like super detail, but if anyone's interested in like more of my opinions on other stuff, let me know. But basically, you've got a fairly bright color palette with like these guys, but you also have some pastels. So that's a 40-sheet paper pad. You would also get dies. These are now an add-on thing, but this die set for this particular kit I think is phenomenal, but I will say some of them have been hit or miss depending. So the cool thing about this die set is you can make either a sheep or a bunny with it, because basically by changing out the ears, and I kind of like sort of the chibi sort of cuteness of it as well. Also got sequins. You got a small stamp set. As you can see, mostly, I think they've always pretty much been mostly greetings in their stamp sets. Thinking back to the Time Offline kit, they were definitely more greetings, with a couple little sort of simple stamps, kind of like these. But anyway, so we got a 4x6 stamp set. Got a bunch of chipboard stuff. Often these are foiled. I am hoping the foiling continues. We got a sheet of glittery letters. These are pretty common. Like this came in Time Offline as well, except they were white. But I mean, this is sort of it. I will say both of these things are sort of Spellbinders staples. You get your adhesives, both foam dimension and 1/8" liner. I have a lot of those and don't use them a ton. And you get a bunch of cards stock. Historically, although that may not be, okay, I lied. I said you usually get a mirror card stock of Some sort? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So traditionally you'd get one sheet of mirror or something, and then I believe 8 sheets. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So you would get 8 sheets, and here you can see sort of these are very much more vibrant. You get 2 of their 3 pink shades, which makes sense because a lot of Easter is happening. Um, so yeah, so I'll put this stuff back in the box, and you get a pretty large pack of ephemera. Usually this is somewhere between 1 and 200 pieces. Um, we can just sort of look at a few of these to sort of get a sense of them, but basically, I think the ephemera and the pattern papers are the real winners with Spellbinders. So you can kind of see what these, like, it sort of has both muted and saturated. When I looked at this kit, it looked like it was more saturated than this year's kit, but I may have to change my mind on that. I think it's just that it had a wider range. So I would say well, I'll say depending on who you are, either the dies and the stamp sets would turn into, stash builders, library builders, whatever word you want to use. And the coordination of basically the cardstock and the pattern paper and the ephemera makes them really easy kits to use. Including so much ephemera, I also think it was the reason I signed up for the kit, because I like the idea of having pre-done ephemera, although as my own capability grows, it's sort of like that's becoming less of a thing than it used to be. But it still makes it easy to go and make a card and have it not be a huge production. So that is what has historically been there. In that particular kit, I think the dies were real winners. So that's why I picked up that kit a la carte, which I actually bought before this one. I bought this one mostly because one of my friends is doing a live stream comparing the two kits, and I felt like it would be unfair to compare the new kit without having it in my hands to actually look at. Not part of the kit, but I think their stamp of the month this month is really cute. It's basically adorable bunnies doing adorable bunny things, and I blame Amanda Stevens, but I'm really starting to like adorable bunny stamps. But anyway, diatribe aside, so what do I notice? This is very compact, so like this would be really easy to put in a backpack. Like this and like something the size of like a Misty or a small trimmer like the tonic one I use all the time. Like that could all fit very conveniently. So I will say this kit is really designed for convenience, and I think really designed with the new card maker in mind. Same adhesive, nothing to really talk about there. I'm curious if the literature has changed at all. We can look at the individuals in a second. So, they've always taught you how to make a card. So I think this is about the same. I was curious if they do more, like Stampin' Up's Kids Kit in particular had just really good instructions as to how to put things together. But this is about the same, although granted, like if you're basically just using pattern paper and putting ephemera on it, it's not too hard. So we have a sheet, and usually there are 4 in here, so I will double check that, but typically the sticker packs come with 4 sheets. These are just standard stickers, but I don't know, I like stickers. I think stickers are very user-friendly, right? Like, they're a lot more, and it's sort of like their traditional setup where you have, well, this is interesting. You actually have more sentiments, I think, than historically. Historically, if we think back to like, oh, what fun in some of those kits, they were more equally matched between things. Sequins, these are very cool. Clear green. I think, well, do we have a similar amount to this other kit? Let us check, because We have it. And the answer is no. The old kits had probably 25% more, 25 to 30% more. So the amount of those embellishments is reduced. This, I think we typically would get a couple sheets of either stickers and chipboard or stickers and letters. I mean, so we did get chipboard. This is a slightly, I don't know if that's smaller. It may be exactly the same size. Because we can check. Yeah, so the chipboard, exactly the same size. Stickers we did not get. We got an additional sheet. We got puffy stickers and chipboard in the other kit, but so here we have an additional sheet. The cardstock is quartered and then cut into pieces here. So basically you're getting 5 sheets of cardstock or 20 quartered sheets. Still a very nice color palette. I'm a fan. As you can see, the Spellbinders cardstock is solid core, so the color goes all the way through, which is cool. So we are losing 3 sheets there. We're losing half the pattern paper, basically, because rather than having 2 sheets of each pattern, we basically are getting 1. Which is, in my mind, it's too bad. I wish they had stuck with the full-size pattern paper. But I think, like, it makes sense in the concept of this kit. Because this, to me, is like, I have a trimmer, and I'm going to bring the kit, and I'm going to make some cards. So the thing I was most interested in is the ephemera. And they're giving you a lot. Maybe, I think even more than we got in the original kit. Is there anything else in here of note? No, not really. We have our card bases, which are exactly the same as the card bases before. You're getting 8 versus 10, and that's pretty much it. This is called Spring Delight, so it is labeled. It's just not labeled on the outside. But if I grab my other ephemera pack, they're differing. Like, the thickness is the same, so it looks like they added some ephemera to the mix, which would make sense if you're marketing something more for, like, a beginning card maker. So I think we definitely lost some sequins, but I think generally we're getting more of the embellishment kind of things. Like, because we basically got 3 types of embellishments. So I think I was slightly unfair to this kit. Like, I do think you're getting more value than I originally thought, because I didn't realize that you were getting more ephemera. But I think my general impression is still about the same. Like, if you're looking for a stash builder kit, there are probably other options now that make more sense than Spellbinders. Because, and I think there are other options that make more sense generally. I mean, I'm curious to see if Spellbinders keep selling. They used to sell the kit and the pattern paper as sort of additional add-ons in their store, and that was almost the best value for money, in that you could basically buy the pattern paper and ephemera for, any given kit for maybe, I don't know, $10. I think it actually both retailed for $7.99, but sort of after the kit had sold, they usually went on sale for about $10. So if they continue doing that, that's definitely the most economical way to get into it. But I guess I'll say I like the new kit more than I thought I would, and I hope they do coordinating stamps. I'm glad they're doing dies. I wasn't able to get the dies for this because they had sold out by the time I looked at it. But, I mean, I think this will be a very successful kit for people who don't want to make 3 specific cards, but want the ability to have a little more creativity. So, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do long term. My guess would be anyone who's really into stash building at this point will probably migrate to some other kit where there's, more reusable things. If Gina K keeps doing the bundles, those I like a lot for stash building, and Catherine Pooler's Cerie Club, which is $50 for the stamps and dies, and I think something like 25 if you just want like a stamp of the month and coordinating paper. Anyway, those were my initial thoughts, and I look forward to seeing some of you at Lynn's live stream in a few weeks. I will throw a link down below.